Welcome back to this week's episode of the Corde Snell Show. I am the host. I'm the guy. This is my show. This is who I'm with. But with me, I got next to me. What up, Jared? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm glad to be back.
What's up, Noah? Hey, I'm actually calling your name instead of Angel. That's an inside joke for the podcast. Real quick, I keep talking about inside jokes. Let's tell what the inside joke is. So randomly, sometimes I'm a teacher and I call people the wrong names. I call whatever name that pops in my head, and that kind of gets stuck for whatever reason. I think it's like a stuttering thing, or sometimes I stutter, or it's like in the moment you can't think of anything, so you just say the first thing that comes to your mind. And sometimes I call people the wrong name. Now, Noah doesn't even have the name Angel in any way of his full name, but I just start calling him Noah Angel. And it kind of stuck. And every once in a while, I just reverence Angel. That's what I'm talking about. His name's Noah. I didn't know if he wanted his name out on the podcast, but hey, I'm letting y'all know. What up, Angel? What up, Noah? Hell yeah. Now it sounds like there's extra people in the background. Hell yeah. What's up, George? Anyway, Jared, I think I'm becoming my parents, man. I think I'm getting old and I'm becoming my parents. It sucks because I remember you start saying the stuff that your parents said to you back in the day, right? And then I know I'm getting old because I start saying back in the day, all right? Remember one time I was with my younger siblings and I told them, hey, you got young legs, stand up, right? And I got so mad at myself because like, oh snap, I'm becoming them, right? Because in the moment, I used to always say when my uncles used to always tell me, they was like, hey, yo, get up, you got young legs. I never knew what that meant. I'm like, what you mean I got young legs? My legs hurt. I be doing stuff. I've been doing that. But then now as I'm older, I realize what they were saying, like, hey, get up. I got bad knees and a bad back. I need to sit down and rest my knees, right? But then those same uncles I used to hate sometimes too, because they will say, get up, you got young legs, because they'll be in the kitchen or some like place doing something. And then they'll be like, hey, we need help with the food, or we need help bringing this stuff in. So they would call me to come help, or my other cousins to come bring the food. Or like whatever they need, like sodas, like some kind of chairs or stuff like that. So we moving a ton of stuff. And then I used to hate because they would never be in there. And then they would do this. They'd be like, oh, y'all done? Man, I was just about to come in here and help y'all. But I see y'all got it. And then so I go sit down, tired, tuckering, like, you know, just sweating. And then one of my uncles was like, hey, yo, get up. You got young legs. And I'm like, I'm not getting up. I literally got into an argument with one of my uncles because he told me to get up, and he was like, hey, get your, he was like, tell him, he said, hey, Lou, get your son, tell him to get up. He's like, my dad was like, get up. I was like, why I gotta get up? I was like, I'm sweating. I brought in all these dang chairs. I was like, he didn't do nothing. He was just in there. Also, my uncles drank. That was another thing too. My uncles drank, so that was another reason why I'm like, I gotta get up because you drunk. like I was in here. You ever see that person coaching you to do stuff? Like, okay, you want to lift with your back. Don't lift with your back. Lift with your knees. Lift with your knees. Yeah, lift with your knees. And they start drinking something hella much. So you just start drinking. They're like, okay, you're doing good. All right. Wait, don't lift with your back. Okay, there you go. Bend down more. Bend down. Yep, there we go. Now you're moving it. Okay, there we go. All right. Careful. I don't want you to fall. All right. Careful. There's a step. You got a step coming up. All right. Slowly step down. There we go. Y'all got it. And you yell, why don't you come help me? Boy, I am helping you. I'm directing you. All right. That's how I'm helping you. I'm helping you get to the situation. Without me, you'll be lost. You would have tripped over that step. You didn't even see it. Wait. There's a rock. Move to the right. 2 steps to the right. There you go. See, I told you I'm helping you. My crazy uncles, man. That's my crazy uncles. That's why I don't drink Budweiser. I know it's random as hell. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. But because every 4th of July, okay, black people barbecue a lot. I don't know if you guys know this. If it's a holiday, we celebrate everything by barbecuing. 4th of July, Valentine's Day, whoever's random birthday, Labor Day, Memorial Day. That's just a good time for a barbecue, all right? So every barbecue, my uncles was always drinking, and they was drinking Budweiser. And I don't know if you remember like the old school Pepsi. It kind of looked like a diet Pepsi, but it also was the same color as like a Budweiser, right? And then I remember my uncles, we sit near me because we'd be like outside. If it was hot, we'd be like in Oakland. And if it's hot, like in the garage, it was kind of cooler down there. They'll put their cans. It's like, hey, make sure you don't put your can next to mine. I was like, I was here first. What do you mean put my can next to yours? Like, you put yours next to mine. He was like, nah. He was like, don't touch this can. I'm like, all right, cool. And initially I used to always drink like some kind of grape soda or like orange soda, or like I wanted like a 7-Up or a Sprite, but 7-Up was always for my grandma because it was like, nah, baby, this for us. Because for some reason, adults always say two particular sodas or a few particular sodas is just for the adults. I don't know why, but it always was a thing. And then so one time, I think my grandma, my great aunt gave me a Pepsi, and it was the same color as like Budweiser. So I've been drinking like Pepsi nonstop, right? I got it right here, and I set it down. He was like, careful, I put my beer over there. He's like, don't pick up my beer. And I don't know what the hell a beer was. That, you know, I'm 7, 8. I don't know what that is, right? And then he puts his can next to mine, and I pick it up and I drink it, and I was like, "Oh, something's wrong with my Pepsi." And I start pouring it out. He was like, "Hey man, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing? That's my beer." I was like, "You drink that nasty thing?" And then I get in trouble. Because he walk upstairs, your son up here drinking beer. He out there drinking beer. Then he had the nerve to pour it out. And then I poured it out because I was concerned. Because I'm like, this Pepsi went bad. It's the same color as piss. You drinking piss? My girl out here drinking piss. He's like, that ain't piss, that's beer. I was like, well, I don't know what you call it. It's disgusting. All right. Then he was like, so you just want to be out here drinking beer? You want to be a drunk? Huh? You want to be a drunk? And it was weird that my drunk uncle was asking me if I wanted to be a drunk. It didn't make no sense. And because of that, I never drank Budweiser, because if they wasn't, because as he was yelling this at me, you could just smell the beer on his breath. Like you just smell all of it. It's all in my face. So, you know, just somebody with bad breath who won't stop talking to you. And I'm like 8, and I just can't, because you can't run away from adults. You can't just like, I'm gonna leave, because they'll pull you like, where you going? Where you going? Don't you run away from me when I'm talking to you? I'm just like, and then to this day, I don't drink Budweiser. I drink a Bud Light, but I don't drink Budweiser. It's different can, so it's different. But yeah, that's just a little background about me. Just random about my drunk uncles. Sometimes I be late. I'm not gonna lie, I be late to this podcast. Sometimes I be late to other things. A lot of times it's my family. And I honestly, I hate being late, but I feel like I'm becoming a late person, which is something I really hate, because my mom and my sister was always late to everything. Like, if you know how they say, if something starts at 7, tell them 6:30 so they would get there on time. Sometimes, like, okay, if it starts at 7, it starts at 5, because my mom will be like, okay, well, if it's 7, I can get there about 7:15, 7:30. That's not that bad. But then they'll actually get there at 7:45. My mom used to be super bad at being late. Then she's like, okay, well, whatever. If I wasn't supposed to be there on time, I wasn't supposed to be there on time. It wasn't meant to be. And I'm like, Mom, you left at 6:58. Like there was leaving on time would have been the first thing, right? So, but sometimes like when I'm leaving the house, or I'm like leaving to go to a show or to come do the podcast, the number one question I always get is, where are you going? Like, I got the joke about it. I'm like, why I'm late. I talk about like my black family, like we'll pray and they'll ask me where I'm going. Cause it's true. They'll ask me where I'm going to try to figure out like my sister does it too, which is annoying, cause my sister asks me like, where you going? Where your antennas going? And I get mad cause I'm just like, yeah, my mom, you can't be asking me where I'm going. And so nowadays I just lie and I just say, I'm going on a date with one of her friends. And she's like, You guys, I was like, yeah. So me and Sam, what's this, her friend Samantha? Shout out to Samantha, thick ass. I'm gonna get it. We gonna get into it a little bit, but yeah. So I just lied to say I'm going out with one of her friends, and then she's just like, well, yeah. So we just out here lying. I was like, hey, we've been hanging out a lot. I don't know. Y'all ain't hanging out as much. Why you think that's it? Because me and her, we tough. We hanging out and everything. Should I be driving her car? Because her friend Samantha got an Audi. I'm like, should I be driving her car and everything? Like, she live in Vallejo. You know, I know where she stay. I'm like, you don't know where she stay. And then like, I remember I randomly guessed the location where she stay. She's like, how you know where she stay? And I was like, oh shit, I was right. I was like, but yeah, so then that's annoying. But then when they asking me, so this what happened last week, right? Literally asked me, it was like, where you going? And I was like, I'm about to go. Like, I don't want to tell you, but it's like, okay, what you about to go do? I said, I'm about to go shoot a podcast. Oh, okay, cool. And then like I made my coffee and I had like with my mug and I was pouring it like in a regular cup. They was like, why you putting it in a cup? I was like, cause I'm just travel. Like, just like, no, you should put in like in a travel mug. It's like, let's see if we got any travel mugs. It's like, okay, well, here go a travel mug, but it ain't got no lid. Well, let's find a different one. Okay, when we go through like a little, like, let's look through all this different type of stuff. Like, I'm like, no, I'm cool with my cup. Like, no, the cup, that's not efficient. You should like look for something else. Like, oh, my sister like found like a little travel mug. She's like, here's the one I be using. And I'm like, this thing looks dirty. Like, yeah, you're right. You should probably clean that out. And I'm like, I don't fucking want this travel mug in the first place. Why the hell I'm like no? And then like she's like, see, like, look how nice and stylish, and I poured it. She's like, see, it's the exact same. Doesn't that look nice? Doesn't that look nice right now? Doesn't that look nice? And then my little brother, you ate? You should probably eat. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm just gonna grab a banana. And my sister's like, the bananas that I bought. I was like, first off, you be eating the bananas that I buy too. All right, we just eating bananas around here. Okay, this is just be happening. All right, we eat each other's stuff. Don't you be saying I'm eating up your stuff. I was like, cause I used to go shopping all the time. You should stay eating my stuff. And then that's why I was 25 minutes late last week. Cause little shit like that happened. I wasn't 25 minutes late. I was like 2 minutes late, but I thought I was gonna be 25 to 30 minutes late. Cause that's what happens as I'm trying to openly leave. They start having me do other stuff. Like my mom used to do this all the time to me. I used to wear like, so this, right? Oh, shout out to the Corde Made Your Day merch. This is one of my shirts. This is one of my favorite things. If I made your day, if I made your night better, or if the Corde Snell Show podcast made your day, hell yeah. Support the merch, inbox me, ask for a shirt, right? So my mom used to do this. She'd be like, hey, where you going? You wearing that shirt? The Corde Snell shirt? I'd be like, yeah. Like, why are you wearing that? Or like another shirt, but like, now I don't think you should be wearing that. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah. What's up, pants? That shirt got a stain on it. I'm like, no, it don't. It's like, yes, it do. But like, they'll be like right here on my bicep. You don't see that stain? No, it's cool. And you like start scratching. Like, see, if you got to scratch it off, that means it's dirty. Go upstairs and change. What? I gotta go upstairs, like, like, cause I try to leave to get to the spot 15 minutes early. Like, go upstairs and change, just come back down. I was like, nope, I don't like that shirt either. Like, you gonna wear it with those jeans? Like, really? You gonna wear it with those jeans? What shoes you got on? What about the new shoes we got you? You should wear the new shoes. My shoes might be tucked away in my like closet somewhere. So you don't want, well, if you want me to go upstairs and help you, I'll go upstairs and help you. If you need help, all you have to do is ask. And I was like, Mom, I was perfectly fine with the outfit I had on. And then I come downstairs and what she picked out is like, see, don't you feel better than that? Don't you look nice now. You look nice now. Hold up. Ain't you late? Ain't you like I was on time. I was on time until you decided I needed to change my entire wardrobe. Like I remember one time she did all that and then she's like, I think you need to shave your beard. I think you need to come here. Let me see, like, you need to shave that. Actually, she says shave your beard. No, I will not, because I'm about to be late. She was like, she grabbed me. It's like, you better go. It's like, come ask your dad. Ask your dad if he like your beard. It's like, I mean, it's cool. It's not something I'll rock and stuff like that. See, that means you need to get your beard trimmed, right? You need to get your beard trimmed. Made me get my beard trimmed. And then my homies was like, hey man, why are you always late? And I'm like, I got a black family. You don't understand. So that joke that I tell about the prayer thing just being funny, all the stuff right here has actually happened. Like that, it has happened a ton of times, right? Because usually I think my mom makes me change and stuff like that because she thinks what I'm wearing is not a positive representation of our family. Like every time you go out, you should look nice, you should look presentable, because in like the black community, or just like if you grow up like in impoverished areas, right, I'll be honest. Okay, sometimes white people, y'all be like, I don't know, random white people, y'all be wearing like beat up stuff. Y'all like to look like the homeless look, right? But because it's like it doesn't matter like what you're wearing, right? Like beat up, like Chucks, like dirty Chucks is always the go-to, right? But then if you come in from like a black community, like you have beat up Chucks or you have holy Chucks, that means you poor. So you never want to seem poor. You never want to seem like you're struggling, right? So you always want to look presentable. Make sure your jeans are ironed. Make sure your shirts are ironed. Make sure there's no stains on your shirt that's dirty and things like that. So then that's why I'm always like having to change stuff last minute to what she want me to wear, even though the beard thing is, I'll tell it. My mom thinks if your beard is unkept, that means your bald hair is unkept too. That's what she told me once. She's like, Corde, you need to trim that up, because ladies think if that is unkept, then it's unkept down there. And I was like, Mom, nobody thinks that. I've never heard that. I've never heard I've never heard does the carpet match the drapes? Does the bush match the bush? Like this is Like I've never heard that. I've never heard that at all. Speaking of which, hey, y'all shave y'all bald hair?
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm the weird one. Well, cause it's whatever. Like I don't. Y'all do?
I do. I mean, there's times where I let it ride, but like I try to take care of it if I have the time.
It's the process. Like I don't.
That's why you got to get. They're not a sponsor. I just want to say they're not a sponsor, but that's why you want to get something like Manscaped because they actually do have like a good trimmer for that type of thing.
Yeah, and I was gonna go into that because I remember Manscaped. I saw a ton of commercials of Manscaped popping up, and Manscaped got super popular during the pandemic. And I'm just like, Manscaped, make sure you're fresh up there and you're shaped down there. And I'm like, we're in a pandemic. We ain't going nowhere. Why would I be shaving my balls? Like if I'm not going nowhere, who am I gonna see? And if I'm with my girl shacking up, I ain't about to be shaving my balls for her. Like, what's the point of that? Like, what is it? But then now I'm thinking about it. That was actually great marketing because while you're indoors all the time, right, you can practice and make sure by the time you eventually go out, you got the fro. Giving your balls a fade. Or give it, I don't know, like weird designs or some shit like that. Just like a. Nah, this is too much ball talk. I'm not gonna talk about it. Just random. But yeah, so I guess I need to get some Manscaped. All right. We're not sponsored by them, but hey, hopefully they can sponsor us. Manscaped, reach out to us. The Corde Show needs you. All right. I need to get some
help Corde out.
Yeah, help Corde out. Like, yeah. Hope Corde out. Hope Corde out, all right? Hope Corde out. This is going great. This is going great. Y'all want to hear my prom story? So the story I told you guys before, I got a prom story for y'all. Y'all want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Prom is usually coming up in May, which is February. It's the early edition of that, right? So did you guys do prom junior year and senior year? Because we did prom junior year and it was called senior ball senior year. Which was which?
I want to say we had both the same year.
Okay.
But now I don't remember.
Okay, because it was like junior year was prom, senior year was senior ball because it was two different things. You know how everybody makes a big thing about prom and stuff like that. People try to lose their virginity or dudes try to have sex for the first time. So my senior ball wasn't that good. We went to the Exploratorium and we had it there on like some dance floor. And someone's like, why the fuck we going to a museum? It's just trash. Like, what the hell? And then I remember the dance floors was like a square, right? And then tables was like literally next to it. And I just remember like a few dudes who was there high and drunk and shit like that, right? Was just like standing there, just like look like just in a suits, just like looking as I danced with a female. I'm like, bro, what the hell, y'all? I like walked off. I was like, what the hell y'all staring at? He was like, oh, dude, I'm drunk. I'm not even here. I was like, I'm trying to just keep it together. I'm like, okay, this is weird. So I didn't care for my my senior ball, especially and my sister came. My cousin brought her as a plus one. That she brought her friends. I'm like, why you keep coming to my shit? Like, cause she came to my junior prom too, which I hated. And I was like, why are you doing this? So fast forward to there was a chick in my church. She asked me to come to her prom or like her senior prom, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna come. I was like, cause mine was shitty. She was like, well, yeah, like I go to a school in San Francisco. It's a pretty good school. You should come. Like, I want you to come. And my mom was like, yeah, you should definitely go. You know, she likes you and everything. She's a good girl. Like, maybe y'all can date or something like that, right? Maybe y'all could date. And then her mom was like, yeah, y'all kind of, y'all look cute together. Why don't y'all go? And I'm like, okay. Then my mom told me previously, she's like, she went last year with a boy from the church. And she didn't have a good time. He went with her, but then was like talking to everybody else. So make sure you show her a good time. She invited you, as a plus one. Make sure that you show her a good time. Don't be like the guy last year. I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna listen to my mom. I'm gonna do that, right? Also, my prom, senior ball, it was okay. We didn't have a huge budget. This senior ball in San Francisco, it was held in one of the best hotels, which I found out later. I remember I pulled up to the hotel. I was like, oh fuck, we gotta find parking and stuff like that. They had valet. I pulled up in the car. I had my sister's car. She had a Nissan Jetta, black on black outside, black interior, it was leather seats. And then it was like, hello, sir, how are you doing? And it was like, I was like, where do I park? They was like, no, sir, you leave your car here. We'll park it for you. I was like, oh, this is dope. This is dope, right? My date looked cute. She was cute. She looked nice and everything. She had a big crush on me. I always thought she was cool, but I was like, I don't know, you know. She played basketball, right? Was bring up later on, but so we go in and then I meet her friends. It's like, oh my god, girl, like he's cute. Like I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I'm like smiling. Like I had braces at the time. It's like, you got braces? I was like, oh, you know, you just cool, you know. So it was funny. So we went there. A place is expensive where like all the halls is decked out, everything looks expensive, like the big chandelier and all the lights. And then I knew it was an expensive spot because they had 3 different options. They was like, hey, do you want the lobster? Do you want like the steak? Do you want the filet mignon? Or do you want the chicken? Or do you want the fish? And I was like, that lobster sounds amazing. Like, so did that steak too. She's like, oh, I got you the chicken. And I was like, damn it. And she was like, you can ask for the other one too. They was like, hey, we have some extra lobster. You got extra lobster? Hell yeah. Let me get that lobster. Hell yeah. But I didn't eat too much because I was like, if we're going to be dancing, also I didn't want to spit on my suit because I got like a nice little suit from Marin's Warehouse. Shout out to them, RP. I think they closed. And then we started going and I mean all her friends and her most of her friends, stuff like that. She know a bunch of people too. And then I met this one chick, a friend of hers. It was like this white girl, thick white girl, cute as hell too. And she was like, hey, stay away from her. I was like, well, I gotta stay away from her. She's like, oh, she tried to talk to the last guy I came here with and try to make out with him. And I was like, you don't say, right? And she's like, hello, what's your name? I was like, Corde. She's like, oh, Corde, that rhymes. Like, I like that. That's kind of, is that French? I was like, yeah. Right. And then like she's like, hey, stay away from her. And I'm like trying to, but she's cute as shit. Like she's cute as hell. Like she has like in her dress, her boobs look like was out. And I'm like, oh, but then like also she was like thick too. Like her dress was like, it was shaped like this and just went like this for the hips part. And I was like, oh my God. And she just kept coming towards me and I'm trying to play it cool, but I'm like, yo, because anytime if we wasn't near each other, she found me immediately, right? Because I remember she was sitting down. She's like, I'm going to talk to my friends. You can go dance if you want to because I know you like to dance. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to go. So I get up and go to the dance floor. And all of a sudden, I'm dancing with a few of her other friends because I think she said her feet hurt because she had a game or something like that. Or like her legs hurt because she had a few games. And then I'm over here dancing. I'm dancing with her friends. And all of a sudden, I turn back. She's like, hey. And I was like, oh, stop. And I was like, oh, shit. Hell yeah, I'm gonna dance with this cute ass white girl and stuff like that. And then I kind of turn and look and I see her my date looking at me and shit. And it was so hard because I was like, damn, what do I do? What do I do? And then the white chick, she was slick. She's like, hey, I have to go to the bathroom. Can you walk me to the bathroom? And at the time, right, I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, what I'm walking you to the bathroom for? You can't walk by yourself? I'm like, oh, your feet hurt? She was like, no. And I was like, okay. Like, oh shit, she was trying to take me. She's like, yes. She's like, I'm glad you didn't fall for a bathroom trick. I was like, bathroom trick? She's like, yeah, she does that. She asks people to go walk her to the bathroom. And then she makes out with them. And right? Yo, for the rest of the night, I was asking her, hey, you need to go to the bathroom real quick? I can help you. I'll carry, hey, you need, or I was like, hey, maybe we can go to the bathroom. I look like your feet hurt. You might need to go to the bathroom to help take off your shoes. Like, and she's like, no, I'm fine. I don't need to go to the bathroom no more. And I was like, damn it. I was like, fuck. And I was like, and then my mom pops in my head, make sure you show her a good time. I was like, fuck, why I gotta show this chick a good time? But then I kept like, cause I'm a very people person. Like, I'm like, this place is dope. I'm walking around. I'm like, oh, this place is cool. Stuff like that. And every time I walk around, I walk away from my date. She just pop up. I'm like, hey. And I'm like, and at this point, I'm kind of like, hey, what's up? And she's kind of like kind of iffy, like, oh, okay, yeah. And then I remember like we took a picture, but I made sure I took a picture with both of them. Like my date was on my right, she was on my left, and I was like, I'm gonna take this picture because I'm cute. I was like, hey, where can I get this picture? When like,
that is savage.
I mean, yeah, because I'm like, hey, I'm gonna remember this, so I'm trying to take a picture with everybody. And then like she just overly flirting with me, and also shout out, my date was cool, but also I didn't really like her like that, but I wanted to show her a good time. No, but I mean, because she been trying to date me like for several years and like, while we went to the same church. And I was like, she's cool, but I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And then the one time I was kind of interested, she was like, oh no, I have a boyfriend. So she like kind of, like I was like off that. Like I was like, okay, well, cool. And then she was like hella mean to me because I didn't like her when she liked me. And then, but she still invited me to, like, her prom like a few years later. So I was kind of like, okay, I'll go with you because I was like, he still was kind of rude to me. So I was like, I'll show you a good time, right? So me, so it's just like a competition. Like I never had chicks fight for me before, but it was like, yeah. So then, so we leave from there and we're going to, she's like, we're gonna go somewhere. And I was like, where are we going? She's like, just keep driving. So she took me to Twin Peaks in San Francisco. I was like, oh, this is dope. This is a cool little. And I was like, hold up. On my date, I was like, is this a makeout point? Because then we high up, we looking over the city. It's like, yeah, what do you think about this? I was like, it's a nice view. My date, she's like, what do you think about this? I'm like, yeah, it's a nice view. We should get out so we can enjoy the lights. Oh, you want to get out? Yeah. And then we get out. It's freezing. Also, we've been dancing, so I'm like sweaty. So I was like, so it's kind of cold out here. I was like, yeah, why the fuck we come here? And they was like, oh, why y'all get out? Y'all supposed to be in the car for a bit. I was like, well, what are we supposed to do next? It's like, oh, we have a hotel. Let's go to the hotel. This is for like GPS map course. So she had to give me directions the whole way there. So we get to the hotel. A friend, the white chick at the hotel. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, it's cool. It's cool. So it's like me and my date on one bed, the white chick and some other dude on the other bed. I was like, that's your date? She's like, no. I was like, okay. Then her friends are like in the room. It was like a 2-bed, but there are like some people on the floor, some people like over in the chairs. Like her friend already had chains out of her dress. She's like, girl, my legs hurt. Like she in jeans. Like you go from a prom dress to jeans. I'm like, she's like, I don't be dressing like that. No, she was in leggings. She's like, I don't be dressing like that. I just dressed up for the prom. I was like, at least enjoy the dress, like, kind of a thing. And then so it's me and my date on one bed, right? And then like the white chick who been flirting with me the entire time and just want me, like it was a dude sitting next to her. And I was like, hey, this chick, wow, she asked me questions, like stupid questions. She was like, can you massage my feet or something like that? And it was like, I ain't doing that. And then he gets up, he leaves or something like that. And I was like, I don't know who he was. I don't remember, right? But she was like, hey, Corde, you wanna massage my feet? And then right, and I was like, oh, in my head, I want to massage them so bad. Because I knew what this meant. This is like, hey, basically, you want to come join me over here on the bed and let's hang out and let's, massaging feet, like Pulp Fiction, like, would you massage, when Marcellus Wallace threw the dude out the window for massaging his wife's feet, because that's an intimate thing. And I'm like, I would love to massage your feet. Don't even got no skills. But I was like, I know they got lotion in here. I know they got something else. I was like, oh, we can massage, in my head, we can massage your feet in the bathroom. Kind of like, I was like, I gotta, just in case if it's too wet, I need to wash off your feet. I need to wash, just close the door, Anyway, that's and then she asks that, like, I kind of like look at her. I'm like, oh snap, yeah, I'll massage your feet. And my date kind of like nudges me, and I'm like, what happened? I was like, I'm just gonna massage your feet. She's like, why don't you massage my feet? I was dancing too, and I was like, fuck. I was like, I don't. So, what she said her feet hurt. Like, don't she got an ankle? She's like, I play sports, my feet don't hurt, and I'm just like. What do I do? In the back of my head, I keep hearing, show her a good time. My mom talking to me, show her a good time. Don't be like the dude from last year. And I'm just like, so I look at her. She looks at me. She's smiling, the white chick smiling hella hard, looking oh so good. I still remember she was in some pink baby fat sweats. If anybody know, they hug all the curves, and she had like a pink, like velour, like so it was like pink velour. This is how vivid this is in my head. I don't know what my date was wearing. But I know she was in a pink velour baby fat, and she had like this little like cut, like a little cut like that, like Dolly Parton it goes down like that. And I remember she had like yellow mascara right here, or not mascara, but like makeup right here. It's vivid in my head, like like kind of, I know exactly what this woman looks like, all right. And then I was like, is that a tattoo on your foot? She's like, yes, I just got it done. I was like, oh snap, let me go see. And she grabbed me. She's like, where you going? I was like, I'm just trying to see the tattoo on her feet. He was like, you can't see from right here? And like the bed is close. Like the bed is only probably about 3 feet away. I was like, nah, not really. I'm trying to get me a tattoo. I'm trying to go see how painful it might be. So then she was like, so you about to rub my feet or what? And I just like said, stop. Nah, I know you've been dancing all night. I'm not trying to rub your feet because they probably dirty. Mad as hell at myself because I'm like looking at my day. My day is like, good job. And I'm just like, fuck you. Because I wanted to rub that white girl's feet, all right? Because I knew where it was going next, all right? And it was funny because after I said that, she got kind of mad. And then she was like, I'm about to go to the store. Y'all want something to drink? Because we had drinks there. But I'm 18. I'm not drinking. No, I was 17. I was not even drinking then. And then it was like, oh, we got some Grey Goose and some orange juice. You just mix that. That's hella good. And I was like, what? And then my date poured me something. I drank a little bit, and I was like, this is disgusting. I was like, no, it's good. And then like the white chick, she was like, well, I bought that. I was like, well, it is good. It is. It actually is good. She's like, I bought that girl. I was like, well, I appreciate you for buying. Did you buy the orange juice too? She's like, I did. I was like, hell yeah. And then my date nudges me again. And I was like, my bad. I was like, what? You don't like Grey Goose and orange juice? You can have some. Or I'll make you. Point to white girl. You need some? I'll make you. She's like, no, I'll make my own. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then so. Back to I didn't rub the chick's feet. So she got up, was like, oh, I see we're low on orange juice. I'm going to go and get some orange juice. And I'm like, okay. I was like, well, when this chick come back and when the lights turn off, I'm definitely about to rub her feet later on. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm pissed at this point because then now... Well, because at this point, the white chick leaves, right? So then my date's friends start asking me questions. Like, hey, how long have y'all known each other? How long have you been friends? Is this a thing? Like, is this gonna go to something? Like, hey, y'all look pretty cool on the dance floor. I'm like, did y'all not see me in the white chick? What y'all talking about? Like, what you talking about? And she's like, they're like, oh, it seemed like y'all cool and stuff like that, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, nah, we just friends. But then I start being, because sometimes I be sarcastic, but if you don't know me a while, like sometimes the sarcasm like kind of comes off mean. Like some people think I'm like very mean. And it was like, I was like, man, you thought we was out there looking good dancing? No, we wasn't. We barely even danced. What are you talking about, right? But I'm trying to be extra sarcastic, and the dude was like, oh, you didn't like dance with her? I was like, nah. I was like, man, my feet was hurting the whole time. I haven't complained about my feet the whole night. And he was just like, you sure? You look like you was dancing. I was like, nah, bro, I got blisters. And he was like, damn, son, you got blisters? And I'm like, no. I think at this point I had my shoes off. I was like, you see any blisters on my feet? But he like, people not paying attention. And then he was like, so is this going to become like a thing? And then his girlfriend was like, don't be asking him now, you put under pressure. I was like, nah. We just friends. And she's like, see, now you over here ask questions like she likes him and shit like that. And I'm like, fuck. Now I'm in a weird predicament. The white chick been hitting on me the whole time. I actually like her. My date likes me, and I'm not trying to be rude. I'm trying to show her a good time, because the worst thing you could do is give somebody, like, you had a whack junior prom. Now you're going to have a whack senior prom. I was like, and I don't want that to happen. But this white chick likes me. So I had to just try to show her a good time, right? And it was funny because we're at a hotel, and then I was just supposed to take my date to the prom and come back home. That's what my mom thought, right? So I called my dad, because my dad was like, hey, if you're not going to come home, call us, let us know you're not going to come home, and tell us where you're at, right? So the white girl leaves. She doesn't come back. Or like, I think she came back or whatever, but like, because it was like nighttime, we're like, oh, we went to sleep, and I'll keep like going. I'm like, where's this? Like, I don't see her in this other bed. Like, what the fuck? So I used to go in the bathroom, go to the bathroom, and it was just like, I was like, who the hell? Right? And then it was like some other couple making out on the sink, and I was like trying to fuck on the sink. I was like, oh fuck. I was like, okay, my bad, y'all, I'm interrupting. I was like, I was just looking for somebody else. He was like, who you looking for? I was like, I don't know. And the dude was like, you looking for that thick white girl, huh? And I was like, bruh, yes. He was like, but ain't your date there? And I was like, he was like, okay. And then it's funny because he making out with his girl, and he, well, like, he like I don't know how he's like having a conversation with me as like that. It's like, shut up. His date in there. And he was like, well, he obviously looking for somebody and his date next to him. So if he looking for her, who he looking for? And I'm like, yep. he's like, nah, bro, she left. She went home. I was like, fuck, she went home? I was like, damn. So I got up pissed. So I walked in the bedroom pissed, came back out, and then like just like went back to sleep. So like I told you, I called my dad and let him know that I'm staying at the hotel, right? I turned my phone off because I think my battery was like at 8%. This is like on old phones, so I don't have like a car charger. There everybody brought their charger with them back in the day in the high school days because phones die. So I was like, let me turn this off, save my battery, and then when I wake up, we'll just drive. I'll drive her home and then I'll just drive back home, right? Because it's Saturday, Wake up. 4 or 5 voicemails or like 6 text messages. Where you at? Why you gonna come home? Where y'all at? What y'all doing? It's my mom trying to tell me I was supposed to show her a good time and stuff like that. Then my mom freaking out. She's like, where you at? And I was like, at the hotel. Who said you can stay at the hotel? What you doing? Y'all having sex? Y'all having sex at that hotel? And I'm like, Mom, you told me to show her a good time. That didn't mean to have sex with her. And I was like, oh my God. And then I think my phone died or like she just hung up or something. It's like, oh, I'm so mad at him. Yeah. And then I think my sister answered the phone. She's like, what are y'all doing? And I was like, we're at the hotel. She's like, what happened? I was like, it was late. I didn't want to crash your car. She's like, that's right. She's like, did you crash? I was like, nope. She's like, so what did you do? I was like, we just stayed at the hotel. She told her mom they're just having a hotel. They're at a hotel. They're just going to stay there. So I stayed with because it was like, I was like 1:30. 2 in the morning when we got to the hotel, or by the time like I was like figuring out, I was like, we leaving? She's like, no, I told my mom I was gonna stay here. I was like, all right, let me call my dad. So also there's no MapQuest. I don't know how to leave where the hell we at. I think it was like in Daly City or some, I don't know, we was at some spot. And then I was like, I don't know how to get home. Oh, it was by the airport. We were somewhere by the airport. I was like, I don't know how to fucking get from back on the freeway and home. Cause I was like, I don't drive. My sister's car. I don't be in the city like this. So I was like, well, she's the one person to tell me how to get back on the freeway, how to drive and stuff like that. I was like, we literally got here because she gave me directions. So then I'm like, hey, I wake my date up. She's like, what's wrong? I was like, I think my mom tripping. I was like, we got to go. I was like, okay. She picked up the phone and then her mom texted her, but her mom wasn't as kind of like, he was like, hey, did you make it to the hotel safe? He was like, yeah, I did. So, okay. And I was like, what's your mom say? He's like, nothing. She's like, did you make it here safe and have a good time? I was like, yeah, I did. And I was like, oh, okay. So then we leaving out. On the way out, we going back to the car. On the way to the car, guess who I see walking back in her pink baby fat velour outfit? I see the white girl and I'm like, oh shit, this is my chance. And then I had the car keys, right? And I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna give my date the car keys and I'm gonna let her go, hey, just go start warm up the car. I was like, I need to go back. I forgot something, right? And then I see her, I'm like, oh shit, it's about to be on because I'm gonna get this white chick number. I'm gonna probably make out with her in the stairwell or something like that because I got 5% battery left. I can get the number real quick, right? And then I'm walking up. She was like, my date was like, oh, hey. She's like, hey. And I was like, hey, how we doing? How we doing? And she was like, hey. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh. And I was like, go to the car real quick. I forgot something upstairs. She's like, what? You forgot something upstairs? Like, yeah. And I was like, hey, hold the door. And the white chick opened the door. And then it's like, no, you didn't forget nothing upstairs. Like, no, I did forget something upstairs. Like, no, you didn't. And the white girl closed the door. And then she's like, see, told you. It's like, well, I want to have a key, so we can't go upstairs anyway. And I was like, well, call her because I need to go something upstairs and get something. And she's like, well, what did you forget? I was like, I don't know. I forgot something. Trying to make up a lie. And it's like, well, I'll call my friend right now and tell me the thing that you forgot. And I was like, I think I left my charger up there. She's like, I thought you didn't bring a charger. I was like, no, I think I did. She called her. It's like, no, we don't see no charger up here. I don't think he left. I was like, nah, let me go see. He's like, there's no charger up there. And I was like, let's leave. So, cause your mom tripping. And I'm just like, so that's my pink white girl story. And I couldn't do it because I was being a good date and I didn't want to show this girl a bad time. So I couldn't get with the thick, pretty white chick who was trying to get at me the whole time. So I was, Corde struck out, but that's cool. Prom, right?
Let's pause real quick.
Yeah. Yo, so welcome back to the episode. We had a little technical difficulties. I was telling an amazing story about some thick ass girl with some some baby fat pink velour outfit. But thanks to somebody in a damn camera, shout out to iPhones. You know, just stopping the video randomly midway through it, and somebody doesn't know how to set their phone up to don't close after a little bit of time. You know, we're trying to do the video thing, but somebody doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, and we're all learning during this process. Fuck you, George. All right, this your first day and you're fired already. Okay. But yeah, so we told an amazing story. It'll be up on the audio version. We'll drop it and like I'll comment later, and I'll probably retell it like another time because I literally remembered this like a few days ago, and it's such a good story and I love it. Next up, Jared, you was asking me a question last week that we was talking about. We was talking about football, and then like I wanted to go pro, but I didn't, and I kind of went like in a different venture, ended up finding comedy. What was you gonna ask me if you remember it all?
I think it was when you decided you were going to make the jump from being an athlete to being a comedian.
Okay. So several things. So I remember. So one of my first passions was I wanted to go pro in football. That was like the thing. Because I was talking about like I made the switch from high school playing line. I was only 240, and I started playing linebacker, and I was like real chills, and I was real sexy. So I was like hella like I was putting Jared to shame. Like, you know how like you always sit like two next to two buff bros. Like I was, yeah. What happened? I had eventually developed a thing, seizures, or they thought it was actually a different disorder. And then I came back from that and I was playing, but the medicine made me put a lot of weight on, right? While this was happening, I got into stand up, I think that April, and then the season didn't happen till like that fall, right? But I'm training, I'm like kind of like doing stand up. I kind of like doing jokes, but the funny thing about it, I was never confident in like telling jokes and never thinking I was that funny because my cousin was the funniest person I know, right? So fast forward to the fall, we're having our first game. I'm having a good game. I have 5 tackles and a sack, right? Then one of my teammates runs. So I jump on the pile, falling off. My teammate runs and try to jump on the pile, miss the pile, hits my knee, right? Tore my MCL. I was out for the rest of the season. I always say tear my ACL MCL because it sounds worse. I actually sprained my MCL, but it was a grade 2 sprain. It was between 6 to 8 weeks or 8 to 10 weeks. So it was like a severe sprain. It was grade 3 sprain is a tear, but I had a grade 2, and they was trying to figure out like how bad was it. And I remember I was rehabbing for 5 weeks, like every day, 4 or 5 days a week, and I still couldn't really do much. So he was like, you might be towards the 8 weeks part of the injury. And then that shit still, like I remember I hit the 8 week mark, and that still wasn't like fully back. So the next week, right, there was a comedy show that the lady was putting on, and like I'm with my team on crutches, and I'm like, fuck, man. And then my knees started getting better, so I was kind of able to walk and stuff like that. And then I was like, fuck, I could have been on stage right now telling jokes instead of being out here crutching and like hobbling and just cheering my team on. It was kind of like this weird thing. It was like, fuck, I want to be out there. But fuck, I could be on stage like doing something else. I was like, but I want to be out here with my boys. I was like, well, I'm not doing nothing. I'm literally not doing nothing. And then my homie broke his leg. So I ended up giving him my crutches so he could like crutch off the field. Because they was like, well, you good? I was like, I kind of. So I kind of had like this like, huh. So and I'm like, oh, well, this is a good sign because if I kind of can walk or whatever, I could probably get back in like about 3 weeks, something like that. And just play like the rest of that for the season. One of my coaches, who I like kind of had a lot of faith in, he told me that he didn't see me going pro. So that really, when you down and dumps after injury, anything can motivate you to kind of stop. So that like motivated me to stop playing, and like kind of like start taking my mind elsewhere, which really sucks. Like, don't listen to your coaches. Don't listen to coaches who doubt you. Because I remember at the time I was like, I was 20, about to be 21. And then if I came back for the next year, I've been 21 and turning 22, like if I transfer to the school. And then let's say if I played 2 years at the school, I'll be going into like the draft 24, 25, right? And then there's not a lot of people who get drafted at that age, but I was like, I could put it like, got it out those sites like, okay, there was Terrence Newman, there was this guy who got drafted, but then also because, I was like Chris Winkie, he won the Heisman, he got drafted at 27. Brandon Weeden later on, he got drafted at 28. And I'm just like, yo, if you're good enough, they'll draft you. All right. You gotta be that much better. Also, I'm more mature because I'm older. I'm not out here partying as much. I'm being way more focused because I don't have the luxury of like a guy coming in 20, 21. I was like, you gonna get me, I'm gonna be mature. And he was like, nah, I don't know if you could be drafted high with the age of 25. And like that stuck with me. As I'm hurt, trying to recover because I was at the 5 or 6 week point, and then I couldn't run yet. Like my leg was just dragging. I was trying to run and like I couldn't pick my right leg up. So it's just adding to the depression. Then I was like, well, fuck it. I guess I'm gonna just do comedy. I'm gonna be going comedy now. The passion of football had left, and I was like, also, I don't get hit on stage. I was like, I'm not in a risk of injury until people got slapped at the Oscars or few people rushed the stage and stuff, right? But I was like, all right, well, let me just try to pursue this other passion. I'm kind of good at it. People keep saying I'm funny, and I'll go this, and I'll like figure another way out. It's like I got good grades. I think I had like a 3.2 GPA. I was like, so football ain't the end all be all. And I would try to be like one of those athletes who like had amazing grades too. So I was like, fucking, I'll just do something else. But I miss football so much. I missed it so much, and it was like a long transition into comedy. But yeah, that was the decision I made because I was like, all right, my coach don't believe in me. I got hurt again. Like I had seizures before. And this when CTE was becoming a big thing too. So it's like I had seizures and then the risk of CTE and then concussions became big. And I had a concussion, I think like the year before. And so it was like all that in the one, like maybe I should stop playing football. Even though I love it, even though it's my passion, even though I thought I was going to go pro and things like that. Maybe this is gearing me towards another way in another direction, where CTE doesn't happen when you're on stage. I'm not getting hit. My body's not being broken down every single week, and I don't have to like be yelled at every day by coaches and like kind of other stuff. So that's when I started to pursue comedy. So yeah, but I'm gonna be honest, comedy saved me honestly, because I have two cousins. One went to D3 in LA, and my other cousin was supposed to go to Fresno State. He got into the school. He's supposed to walk on. He was like 230, 240. He's 6'1". Hell of a tackler. This motherfucker hit. Like, okay, this dude hit so hard, he hurt his neck. Right? He hurt his neck because this is what he told me. He went to Humboldt State. They was trash at football, and he was only like, I think at the time, because he's up there, he only weighed like 225 because when you run and shit like that at a program, they make you super. So he was like 240 normally, but then he got down like 225 chiseled, right? He said they had this fat dude playing tight end. He was like, cuz the motherfucker had to be 320 playing tight end, but he was balling though. He was like, man, so this back in the day when you could hit guys, right? He's like, so fat cuz coming across the middle, and he playing middle linebacker, outside linebacker. So he went up to hit him, and he's like, cuz, I ain't backing down from nothing. I was like, did you like shoulder? He's like, no, I went full on in. So he fucked up his neck, trying to knock out a 300 pounder. He did. And then it fucked himself up at the same time. And then he had to sit out a year, but then he was able to come back and stuff. But I remember he had like the full on like neck harness kind of a thing. I was like, who the fuck was you hitting? He was like, cuz it was this dude. He was 6'3", like 320, 330. I swear to God. I was like, did you knock him out? Hell fucking yeah, I did. He didn't get up, but neither did I. Oh. I was like, damn. So he was going to walk on there. And then like sometimes when you're a former athlete, you got to figure out a way of what you transition into. And comedy helped me transition. Like it took a long time for my subconscious to catch up to it because I still see football fields randomly, or I see a big field. I'm like, you could put a football field right here. You could put a football field right here. But then it took me, I think it was about 5 years ago. I started walking in the bars and was like, hey, you can do a comedy show here. You can do a comedy show here. And that took years to happen. Because every time I would see like a random field, I'm like, you can put a football field right here. You can put a stadium here. You can just right there. You can go right there, and then kind of stuff like that. So my subconscious was able to do it. And then my other cousin who was super talented, he went to a D3. He struggled with not going pro as well because they didn't have no other outlet. Like his grades was cool. I think he had like 2.5, whatever, but it wasn't like great for like a master's program or graduate program. It was like a real struggle, like, cause football was it. Football was his passion. He had a girl at the time, and then like he kind of pursued her interests and things like that. So, but yeah, it's he talked about struggling cause his dream died, and he had to figure out what's next. Like, cause he was super talented, but went to a D3 or NAIA, which he was much better than. He probably should have been like at a D1 AA at worst. You know, like I forget what school it was. I'm like, bro, I'm like, and then he was supposed to transfer to Fresno State too. He was supposed, and then so it's gonna be a thing like where my cousin who knocked the dude out was going go to Fresno State. He was going the NIA. He was like, fuck this. He got into Fresno State. He just had to pass that class, and they was gonna wait on me, and then we was all gonna be on the Fresno State team. But then, you know, life happens and he hurts his neck. He goes there, like, lost the passion. And then I, like, hurt my knee. So then, like, these other things happen. But I turned to comedy. My other cousin started working and things like that. And then my cousin was in LA for helping this girl pursue her interests. So, yeah. And then we all kind of went our different ways. And then because of comedy, I was able to fall. My love of football was able to fall into comedy, and I would just like kind of went head on. Like I remember, I bought a ton of fucking, like before, like I had a Netflix account on Netflix, like really blew up. I had so many stand-up DVDs. Like I had Ralphie May, I had Bernie Mac, a tribute to Bernie Mac. I had this other one called Why We Laugh, and I was just studying comedy. I had Godfrey's like 2010, and then I got into Pandora too, because I just like immersed myself. I was like, well, I need to treat this like how I treated football. Like I'm studying comics, I'm doing all that stuff. I'm watching HBO specials, I'm watching all the 30-minute ones. Like I'm becoming a researcher of this kind of stuff. I like to dive full on in to really become that, and it helped. It helps so much. It sucks because sometimes when you study some of your favorite comedians and they still doing like remnants of old jokes, I'm like, you still do this? And then you wonder why, like, why does this person put out a special and you see him in person? It's like, okay, that was from 2011. That was from 2012. Damn it. You still doing this shit? Like, oh, well, I think I heard that in 90s. Did you? I was like, you still randomly doing it? I'm like, it's kind of like, where's the new shit? And like, oh, there it is. And then it's like, you get into like certain parts. Like I know it was a famous comedian who I loved. He did this. I remember he started doing some kind of older material, like the hits, right? He did like 10, 12 minutes of the hits, because I remember I counted it. And then he did 35 to 40 minutes of all new shit that I haven't heard. So I'm like, oh, he opened up with the hits, and then he got into some new stuff. He got into some political stuff. He talked about this. He talked about that. He talked about this and kind of stuff. And then he started to close with a few of like the old shit. And I'm like, oh, this is how I want to see it. Like if you see an old head or an OG doing it, yeah. You know how they supposed to always have like a new hour? And I'm like, nah, he's like, I'm going to open up with some stuff to get you laughing immediately, get you on my side, like right out the gate. And then I'm going to get into some shit that I want to talk about, you know, which was dope to see. And I'm just like, okay, this is how you do it. Then I saw all the comedians. I'm just like, this is old. This is old. This is old. Oh, that's a new joke. That's old. That's old. Oh, that's a new joke. Oh, that's old. That's old. Seen this. Oh, that's old. That's new. That's new. That's new. Okay, cool. That's so. And then you see like a whole hour show and they're only seeing like 15 minutes of new stand up, but like randomly. And I'm like, oh, this is why some people don't put out specials. But I'm just like, I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. It's weird to see sometimes. But then I guess because I study over and overhaul it, I think that's why I still had a good time, but it was like pretty good, but it wasn't like hilarious. Like, you know, how you finally wanted to see him. And I'm just like, oh, okay, this is why some people, because you ever hear the story like some comedians tour with the same hour for years and years and years and stuff like that, and they finally blow up, and then it's like kind of, you know, and you know, you get stuck like that. And I was just like, as a creative, I never wanted to get stuck like that. But then I'm like, well, if it's working, it's working, you know, kind of a thing. But it seems like sometimes some people might give up, some people don't. So I don't know. I don't know where this tangent is going. But sometimes I go to shows and it's disappointing. Because I'm like, I heard this. Like, wasn't he funny? I'm like, yeah, the jokes that I heard that was new was good. But then, because, you know, with jokes, you can't hear them over and over and over again. And for me, it was a guy who was like studying and loving these comedians. I used to listen to them all the time till at one point, I had to stop because it was no longer funny. And then I started discovering newer people. And then when you hear them again in person, it's still funny because it's the first time you ever heard them say it live to you in your face, but it's not like the first time you've heard it. So it's kind of like, you ever watch like a rewatch an old movie you haven't seen in like 5 years? And it's like, it's still good, but you know the ending. But it's like, I had a good time though rewatching it. So you have a good time, but it's not like, damn, that shit was fucking funny. You see that? You see the one thing was talking about? You, oh shit. It's like, oh yeah, nah, I know that one. Yeah, he did that in 2011. So yeah, it's cool. Pivoting. How much more time we gonna go? Or we can keep going, right?
Yeah, as much as you want.
So I was on Instagram, right? And I saw this guy, or I saw this thing that says, after a breakup, guy posted his unphotoshopped ex-girlfriend's photos. And it was hilarious, yo. Because it went from a chick who looked like she had a BBL to like, it was like before and after pictures. It was like BBL and the Photoshop stuff, and then no butt, and it showed like all her cellulite and wrinkles and stuff like that. Well, I ain't got no problem with cellulite, but I'm like, you can't have a Photoshopped ass and then have no ass. But I'm like, yo, that is so petty, yo. Like, that's the levels of petty.
That's foul.
Yeah, it's foul. Jared, have you ever done any petty things after a breakup?
You know what? Yes, I have. The last girl I broke up with, I immediately went on Facebook and said we weren't together.
Okay.
I don't feel good about that. Like I broke up with her and then I went home and then I was immediately like, let everyone know, like, hey, I'm back on the market.
Breaking news. Jared is single again. That's what that is. I don't know if that's petty. Like, I'm like negative things like, cause all right. So being petty, but then also this, real quick, never sync your Facebook never sync your contacts with your Facebook page, right? Because this was happened to me a few different times. After breakups, I've been on there and I've seen chicks who I talked to years ago all pop up in, you may know. And at one point, I feel like Facebook was fucking with me because I had 7 chicks all lined up and they was all taken. And I'm like, damn, I'm still single out here. And I was like, fuck, was it me? Fast forward 2 years later, they all had kids and was all single. I was like, no, it wasn't. Oh, so such a great moment. I'll say one thing that was petty. It was this one chick who I was dating back in college. She was a plus size model. She told me she wasn't a plus size model. She was a blogger, but I think she said she wasn't because she hadn't signed a deal, right? She was super toxic. Like, when I say toxic as hell, like, I remember she frustrated the fuck out of me one time. I remember I was studying for a quiz, or I was trying to go study, but I was like kind of procrastinating, right? So I remember I got in my car. I was gonna go, because I usually study late. So I usually study like 10 p.m. to like 2 a.m. was like this like little rush. I would just get like 4 hours of studying out. So I was trying to go, and this chick called me up complaining that I didn't talk to her enough. And I was like, are you fucking serious right now? She was like, yeah, you don't talk to me enough. And I was like, I understand you're in school. I understand, but you need to understand. And I was like, well, if you're telling me I need to understand, you don't understand, right? So we're talking back and forth for like 2.5 hours just to calm her down for me not giving her enough attention, right? And she used to always think I liked her friends. Funny thing about it, the friend that I did like, she didn't know I liked it. And then I remember it was petty because she was just being extra petty. Like, oh, I bet you like that girl. I bet you want to talk to this plus size girl. I'm like, girl, I like you. All right. But then towards the end, I started saying, I don't know. You know that one chick? Like, hey, you got her number? Like, you know her Instagram? Hey, like, hey, is there any events that you go to that we can probably both meet her? Like, kind of a thing, right? Because I'm being petty at this point. And she's like, why you keep hitting me up, Corde? And I'm just like, cuz, like, you being like, I was just being extra petty, like, just like playing in all her insecurities, right? But she was so damn toxic. Like, she had a lot more stuff that I don't want to get into. But the funniest thing was, I still realize she's still being petty to this day because she blocked me on like Instagram and stuff like that, right? And I'm just like, girl, like, you blocked me? I'm like, what the hell? Like, cause we broke up because it was just like, all right, this ain't working out. You stressing me out. I'm still in school. I'm not trying to fail a final because you're having a bad day, right? And so she was like, oh, I just want to hang out. I want to do this kind of stuff and stuff like that. So then I hit her up. I was like, hey, you trying to hang out? Like, I haven't seen you in a bit. Like, we can, like, you know, do what Jared was talking about, where you can break up with a chick but still hang out because y'all still smashing, right? And she's like, Corde, why would we hang out? Like, we're not together. I was like, no, you said you want to see me still like kind of hook up. She's like, why would I do that? I only hook up with people I'm dating. And I'm like, girl, I'm just following you. And then she was like, you're just trying to hang out with me to see some other plus size models. And I was just like, wasn't true. I was basically trying to smash Jill, and I was still trying to see her to try to figure out like maybe after my test or my finals we can like start dating. And then because she said that, I was like, you know what, I do. So I became public enemy number one of level petty. Like, hey, you trying to hang out? I hear there's be some other plus size models in this area. You want to go and hang out there and we can all like kind of do some stuff. Just playing into all some insecurities. Because initially I was for it. I just wanted to hang out with her. But she started making up all this other stuff. So fast forward to now, like she has like a new dude, or I saw like a random post or something like that before she blocked me, right? She was like, I love my new boyfriend because she had like, I think at the time, this was like 2015, she had like 60 to 70,000 followers on Instagram back when that was like a lot. So nowadays that would be like 350 to 400, right? It wasn't easy to get that many followers. And like, I remember I was like, I need to get my followers up. I need to like do more stuff. You got 60. Like, how did you get that? She's like, Corde, well, like, why are you even asking me this stuff? Are you just only with me because my followers? I was like, no, I'm a comedian. And I was like, and I've been told that in order for you to get better or get more opportunities, you need a following of some kind. I'm just trying to figure out how to get a following, how to try to get like kind of that kind of thing. She's like, oh, okay. But then I see a post from her. And I'm like, this was like 2 or 3 years ago. I just remember this because she was so toxic all the time, right? And she's like, I love my new boyfriend. We've been together for like 2 or 3 years. I really like the fact that he's not on social media, that he's not trying to have followers, that he's not like, wants like to be big on social media. He doesn't want to like have like a fan page or have. I was like, girl, we stopped talking a long time ago. Why is your whole boyfriend sitting around me? And she's like, I also like the fact that he's way taller than me because she was tall. She was 5'10". I'm 6 foot. So I like the fact that he's like, 6'7". And like, sometimes guys are like, they're not that tall enough for you to date when you're a tall woman. I'm like, why are you? I feel like Mariah Carey. Why are you obsessed with me? And I kind of want to get more into it, but I don't want to seem like an asshole. But it was weird, yo, because this chick was so insecure. Because we talked for one period and we like stopped talking for whatever reason. We both dated other people, came back together. This is the time when we talked for like a long period of time. Like I got at one of her friends, didn't know it was her friend at the time, at a club. And this chick was like, I can't get you. You get like chicks' numbers at clubs. She's like, nah, follow me on Instagram. And I was like, what? And this is before following Instagram was like a big thing. Like, or like, hey, just get my Instagram. Don't get my number, right? Like, girl, what? But that's all she had like 10 to 12,000 followers. So I followed her friend or whatever. And then that's when I found her page. And I was like, I don't know if you remember me, but we talked like a few years ago. We met on Tinder. And then like I found like one of her old pictures. I was like, I remember this was from your profile and things like that. And I'm like, yo, do you remember me and all? And then we talked for like 3 straight days, right? And then I really got a number. And then I was like, I'm in the Bay right now, but I live in Santa Barbara still. And then she lived in LA. So we started talking again. And because I got at her friend and that's how we reconnected, she always thought I wanted to talk to one of her friends. And I'm like, why are you like this? She was like, I know you like my friend. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I know you like her. What do you mean I like her? She's like, I know. How? Like, I'm like, well, eventually if I meet your friends, I will have to like them if we continue on with this relationship, right? She's like, no, I know you're trying to get in my friends. And I was like, how am I trying to get at her friends? And her friends was toxic too. Her friend was toxic. This is like when Instagram stories came out. This is how long ago this was, right? When they just came out, right? And it was like the new thing. So where you can like post a pic, but then you could add a story. I remember that was new. I was like, oh, what's this random thing, right? So like I would just comment on people's stories because it was new. Because I'm like, this is like Snapchat or kind of thing. Like, oh, this what's up. This is dope. Like, I'm just like, oh, this is dope. And then she's like, well, I was hanging out with my friend. And she said, you was in her DMs. And I was like, what? So she said, he's like, Corde, you in her DMs. Like, I don't know. I was going to tell him that I'm dating you again. And then like, I kind of mentioned to one friend and then she overheard. She's like, oh, you still talking to him? He was in my DMs. And I was like, I wasn't. She's like, no, she said you was. I was like, did you ask her what I said? I was like, did you ask her what happened? She's like, well, you was in her DMs. Why was you in her DMs, Corde? I was like, well, she was at Disneyland. And I saw a picture of Goofy. And I said, oh my God, I love Goofy. Goofy is amazing. That's what I said. I was like, did you pull up her DMs to just show what I said? I was like, because that's literally what I said to her. And her friend sicked and said, "Oh yeah, he was in my DMs." And I'm like, I don't know if this is a good friend of yours. I was like, but this chick is toxic. I was like, she's saying that I'm in her DMs when that's not even what I was like. I literally said Goofy, because also I really do love Goofy. Goofy movie, extremely goofy movie. The show that they had on Nicktoons, was it back in the day? Well, it was like channel 126 on DirecTV, like that channel. I was like, yo, I'm a huge Goofy person. And I was like, oh my God, Goofy. Like, I remember I went to Disneyland one time. If I saw a Goofy as a grown-ass adult, I would lose my fucking mind. Like, oh my God, Goofy. Like, oh my God, Goofy. Can I get a picture now? Oh my, Goofy. Oh, like that. Like, you know how some people you see, like, it just takes you back to you as a kid? Goofy is that for me. And so they see her friend saying like, oh yeah, he was in my DMs. I'm just like, yo, your friend is toxic. And she was toxic too. So it was just like super funny. But yeah, being petty, I start hitting her up like, hey, let's go to like a plus size model event. I would love to be at one with you. You know, like I could take pictures of you and other plus size models. Maybe I can exchange information with them and kind of stuff. And she was just like, she looked at me like, are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious right now? I was like, yeah, wouldn't that be great? Shouldn't you network? Like, shouldn't you be networking with them? I was like, these bitches be backstabbing and stuff like that. I was like, nah, but it's, if you get more followers than them, then you really on the rise, because you know and stuff. It's like, Corde, I think you love these plus size models. I was like, do I? Do I love these plus size models? Do I just think they goofy? Like, oh, that was petty of me. But that chick was super toxic, though. I'm not gonna lie. Taylor Swift is out here swag surfing. We talked about this last week, and I hate it because we talked about it last week. Yeah, swag surf. I said she was just doing the Save the Last Dance thing with the shoulders. He was like left, right. And then I saw an article that said, "What is swag surfing?" And is this important or some shit like that? And I got mad because I'm just like, oh my fucking God, here we go, a non-dancing white chick gonna take all this credit for swag surfing. It's something that black people do and love, and I'm just like, please don't let this be a thing, Taylor Swift. And it was funny because I'm like, she's like offbeat, you know how people you see, like, you know, like, because it's like swag surf, she's like ha. And it was funny because it looks like they was doing something like down south in like a gigolo or like a bingalow or something like that. Or somebody was playing like the guitar. They're like, like grab your partner around it. I was imagining all that, and it was just stupid as hell. Taylor Swift, don't swag surf again, ever. I was thinking about this on the way here. I was like, did Travis Kelce teach her how to kind of swag surf? It's just she's doing the best that she can for what she, you know, because, you know, you got friends who can't dance. So you got a homie who teaches you, but they're not the best dancer themselves. So you get like a little bit of what they taught you and just, yeah, I like surfing for people who can't dance. I think I'm out of stuff. I don't know.
We can just wrap it up.
All right, we can.
It's my fault, folks. It's my fault. You're going to see a lot of choppiness in this episode because I got a new phone that we're recording on and it kept closing on us. So sorry, we'll get it fixed by next week. That's my fault.
It's all right. Damn you, George. We should call an episode that. Damn you, George. And just start it off with that. We can do that. All right. So, all right. This is the Corde Snell Show. If you didn't listen, that means you didn't get your hour of Corde this week. You need a good hour of cardio. I wouldn't say cardio so bad. You need a good hour of Corde every week. That means you listen to the podcast, you've digested, and Corde makes your day. Hit me up on Instagram, TikTok. I sell my merch on there. If I made you laugh, if I made you cry, if I triggered you because my level of pettiness was something that you hated, sorry about that. But hey, I made your day some kind of way. I made it better. Usually I always make it better. So I always say, get yourself an hour of Corde by listening to the Corde Snell Show, because just like how Play 60 was like, you need 60 minutes a day to stay active. You need 60 minutes a week of Corde. Or check out my other YouTube where I post a bunch of stand-up clips on there as well. Go to my Instagram page, which is, if you're wondering, how do I follow you? It's literally Corde Made Your Day on all platforms. I appreciate every last one of y'all. Leave some comments. If you got a funny prom story, leave comments in the comment section. If you want us to talk about some different topics or some stuff that you like about the show, rate, review us, share us on subscribe to the YouTube channel, like us on Apple, Spotify, and give us 5 stars. I'm gonna borrow this from my homie, not my homie, but like a podcast I love. He's like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. If you give us 4 stars, I believe you are a hater, and don't be a hater, because ain't no haters out here. This is a Gatorade shirt, but we don't need no haterade or no holleration. Shout out to Mary J. Blige. This has been the Corde Snell Show, and we out.